Hello, everybody, and welcome into the recruiting rundown here on Gamecock Central. Wes Mitchell and Kendall Smith joining you, and happy Friday to you all. I hope you're excited for the weekend. We're going to give you a little recruiting update here at the end of the week because, Wes, there's always a lot going on. But first off, how you doing?
I'm good. Like you said, happy Friday, also known as Gamecock Super Regional Weekend for softball, also known as National Ronald Acuna Day for those who celebrate in Braves country. So I'm excited. Beautiful day outside. How are you, Kendall?
Well, I will say Ronald Acuna played the Charlotte Knights last week. That's the team that I work for, the AAA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. And the Knights had the pleasure of having Ronald Acuna rehab against them last week. So happy for all the Braves fans out there. I know that that is certainly a welcome addition to the group. Obviously, one of the best players in baseball. So, Wes, I know you're excited because you have been less than thrilled with the start to the season for the Braves, but we are not talking baseball here on today's show. We are talking South Carolina football recruiting. And Wes, we got to start it off because there is some breaking news. We use the term breaking loosely, but we have new rankings for the class of 2027, courtesy of On3. So that's the junior class right now. And what we can take away from that is that the state of South Carolina is absolutely stacked when it comes to those rankings. So what were your takeaways when you saw the list, Wes?
Yeah, I mean, you said it, Kendall, like loaded group in terms of, and you're talking about it's still very, very early for that group, Kendall. So a lot of times this is a small state. It has obviously these little pockets of talent in small towns. And so generally you're going to see more and more talent kind of be uncovered as the process goes on. You look historically, like, even guys here like a Nicky Mawari as a just kind of top of mind guy, an example, TJ Sanders. Those were guys that they didn't really burst onto the scene until maybe like going into their senior years. So for there to already be, I would say 7, 8, 9 guys that I think are going to have a chance to be 4-star qualities. A bunch of those guys already landed in that 4-star range so far by On3. At this early point for it to already be like that, I think is a great sign for the state of South Carolina. And kind of the person who we'll talk about today real quick, Kendall, that is emerging as, I believe, the top prospect in the state for that rising junior class is from fairly close to where you are up there, actually from Fort Mill, South Carolina, Catawba Ridge High School. That is Joshua Dobson. Currently is the number 5 prospect in the entire country, regardless of position, according to On3. And then according to that On3 industry ranking, which kind of averages all of them together, number 7 prospect in the country. On3 has him as the number 1 corner. And all these sites, On3, 24/7, and Rivals, all of them have him currently as the number 1 prospect in the state of South Carolina. So a 4-star, probably going to be a 5-star if he ends up just sort of maintaining his pace. Cornerback has offers from everybody, including South Carolina, has visited the Gamecocks. And from what I'm being told, is going to take kind of an open-minded approach to the process, is not someone that there's maybe one team that you say he's a lock to, or even that there's an early just top school. But from what I've heard, South Carolina will definitely be in it. They've made it a point to let him know how much of a priority he is for them. And he was one of those athletes that was at that kind of Rock Hill, Fort Mill joint practice we talked about recently. Torian Gray was up there, of course, to watch him as a defensive back as well. And so, I mean, that area, Rock Hill, Fort Mill, up there, always producing talent. And Dobson, the latest from that area to just gain a lot of national attention.
Yeah, and if you want to know a little bit more about that joint practice that Wes just alluded to, then check out our recruiting rundown from last week because South Carolina is just bursting with talent when it comes to the high school football scene. We know that, and we know the way that the Gamecocks have been able to capitalize with in-state recruiting. So it is very exciting to see these lists, Wes. Obviously, not completely done and subject to change, but you know that there is just so much in the state of South Carolina for the Gamecocks to go after when it comes to these high school guys that they are targeting. So super exciting, and definitely go check it out on 3.com. But Wes, we've seen Shane Beamer tweet I think that's what we can say. Tweet, right? I still say a tweet.
Yeah,
He
it's a
tweeted
tweet. It's
out some welcome
a
homes.
post on X.
Yeah, he posted on X a couple of welcome home posts and kind of was giving Gamecock fans something to look forward to. Those have yet to be revealed, but what is kind of your take on that? How you feeling about what Shane Beamer put out and when South Carolina fans might know who these guys are?
Yeah, I think for at least one of those, and so one of those on one of them, I'm not really sure what to tell people to expect, but on the other one, the second one to be exact, I think it won't be that much longer. So I think this will be someone probably in the summer, but likely more towards the early part of the summer that will be revealed there. We won't give any hints on it or anything like that. Obviously, they'll provide their public commitment when they're ready. But someone that I think Gamecock fans, somebody we've been tracking, somebody that, they've been in a decent spot with for a while. And I don't think it'll be too much of a longer wait, we'll say, for at least one of those, Kendall.
Well, it's definitely tough to be patient, especially when you're just waiting and waiting after Beamer puts out those welcome home tweets. He's done that for years. But as always, if you want to know, head over to GamecockCentral.com. Follow us at Gamecock Central on social media. Wes and Chris will keep you up to date with everything you need to know as soon as the news drops. But it's going to be a busy summer for South Carolina, and it starts next weekend. The first batch of official visits coming up. Wes, we've talked about this a ton, but just before we get out of here today, how about we give everybody watching just a general overview of what the month of June is going to look like recruiting wise for South Carolina?
Yeah, it really is like all recruiting all the time. And I know we joke how that's always the case, but for your staff, for everybody involved over there, June is going to be a grind. And it really starts a couple of days early this year just because of the way the calendar fell. So we're recording this on May 23rd, exactly 1 week from today. On May 30th, you will start to see those official visitors roll in for South Carolina's first major recruiting visit weekend of the summer. They'll follow right back up with another one on the 6th, which will be that next week. And we've talked about it, Kendall, at this point. Most of the time you're looking at maybe somewhere around 10, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more per weekend of guys that are going to roll through just so you can have complete focus on each individual prospect. And then the most, I don't know, kind of just time, like the thing that's going to take up the most time too, other than these official visits, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is you're having these high school summer camps throughout that month as well. So those are your kind of just all day long. You've got prospects rolling in, and some of these prospects are just younger guys who are maybe trying to get some work with the college staff. And then some of the prospects that will be at these camps are guys that, are your highly regarded targets. And also, there are guys, I mean, again, let's go back to Nick Eamon. He did not have an offer when he arrived for camp, just showed out, had a great day, and then he left with an offer. So every single year, there are guys that the staff will have told, hey, man, we like you. We're intrigued by you. We want to learn more, but we want to see you in person. We want to work with you in person. We want to sort of basically coach you up a little bit and see how you respond to that maybe. So these are a great evaluation tool for the South Carolina staff as they're deciding who they want to be within this program. So it'll be a very your June month really shapes in a lot of ways the future of your South Carolina roster.
June, and then it's July, and then it is August, and time for South Carolina football. It certainly will fly, but this is a very pivotal time of the year. It's an exciting time of the year for South Carolina, and we are just happy to bring you all of the updates. So stay tuned with us here on the recruiting rundown on
100 days
Gamecock
to
Central.
kickoff, by the way, Kendall, not to cut you off, but did
Yes,
you realize 100 days?
100 days away, which is crazy, but I personally can't wait, and I'm sure everybody out there watching also cannot wait. But until then, we'll still have a lot of news to keep up with South Carolina. It will be a very, very busy summer, and we are looking forward to it. So, Wes, appreciate the time as always. We'll be back next week because we certainly will keep you updated on everything going on with the official visits that are set to kick off next weekend. But for now, we hope that you all have a great super regional weekend kicking off here today. Very excited about that. And stay up to date on GamecockCentral.com. As always, Wes, good luck to your Braves tonight. I know you're very excited. And again, we'll see you guys next week. So for Wes Mitchell, I'm Kendall Smith. This has been the Recruiting Rundown here on Gamecock Central, and we'll see you soon.